Did you know doctors often spend twice as much time doing paperwork as they do actually seeing patients? It's wild. Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and explore how we can finally rescue clinical staff from the total administrative nightmare of modern telehealth. I mean, if you work in healthcare, you know that delivering care remotely is incredible for patient access, right? But the back-end operations, they can often feel like a completely disorganized mess. So today, we're going to look really closely at a solution called BoomTalk Live. Specifically, we'll see how its comprehensive, fully managed architecture transforms the entire clinical workflow from a disjointed headache into a seamless, AI-assisted operation.
So here's a question for you. Is your current telehealth platform actually creating more paperwork than it prevents? Honestly, we see this constantly. So many practices rush to adopt basic video tools during the massive shift to remote care, only to find out they essentially just traded physical clipboards for digital quicksand. Generic video tools literally leave your team manually scheduling, charting by hand, and frantically chasing down notes like some kind of detective after every single call ends. Look, the technology was supposed to make things easier, right? But if your providers are spending way more time staring at a keyboard than actually engaging with the patient, well, your software is actively working against you.
So how exactly do we fix this broken system? Well, BoomTalk Live completely shifts the paradigm here. It transforms the whole patient journey into one cohesive AI-powered clinical workflow. It is so much more than just a simple video link. Step 1 is smart intake and triage. This handles the front door data collection before the provider is even involved. Then Step 2 is the secure HD video consult itself, which is fully HIPAA-ready, of course. And Step 3, this is the real game changer. AI-generated SOAP notes that practically write themselves based on the actual conversation. It takes the whole visit and all the associated paperwork and just folds it into one unified platform.
Now, let's look at the patient's very first interaction. Right off the bat, the AI Nurse Assist app immediately greets them and crucially checks for emergencies. At the same time, the intake flow intuitively collects their symptoms, medical history, and demographics. Think about this. Instead of handing a patient a physical clipboard or some clunky PDF to fill out, they can literally just upload photos of their injuries right from their smartphone. What this means is that fully structured reports are auto-generated and just waiting there for the provider before they even log on for the day. It's an absolutely massive win for efficiency.
And then, during the actual visit, the provider experience is just completely seamless. You can see how a doctor can review an X-ray right inside the interface. Instead of awkwardly juggling multiple applications or opening separate email threads or, struggling with terrible screen share resolutions, clinicians can securely exchange, view, and discuss high-resolution images and documents, and it all happens directly within the HIPAA-ready HD video visit. It keeps the clinical focus exactly where it belongs, on the diagnosis and the patient conversation, all inside a fully encrypted, totally secure environment.
But what happens when the conversation is over? Well, this is where the magic really happens. BoomTalk Live puts clinical documentation on absolute autopilot. Literally every single session is automatically transcribed. Then, the AI intelligently drafts summaries and highlights key action points. It even goes a step further by auto-generating standard SOAP notes, subjective, objective, assessment, and plan, and it suggests the appropriate ICD-10 and CPT codes for billing. The AI handles the robotic work so the human can actually do the caring. This level of AI documentation means providers can finally spend their time actually engaging with their patients, looking them in the eye instead of furiously typing notes into an EHR.
To really grasp the value here, we kind of have to contrast it with what most folks are used to. Take a widely used tool like Doxy.me, for example. It's essentially a basic video portal. It's designed to be a simple, browser-friendly video link. And that's fine, but because it's so basic, it requires manual charting. It basically operates as a generic unmanaged tool, meaning you get zero dedicated IT support if something breaks. BoomTalk Live, on the other hand, is a complete clinical workspace. You get the AI transcription, the SOAP notes, and crucially, it is a fully managed environment backed by 24/7 IT support. It's honestly the difference between buying just a steering wheel versus buying the whole car. So if we trace that entire journey from start to finish, it begins right at the start with video and chat consultations, completely guided by the AI Knowledge Assistant. As we move down the line, we seamlessly pass through smart intake, AI documentation, and scheduling. Further along, you have features like document sharing and e-signatures, and it's all completely integration ready for your existing EHR systems. Plus, this entire timeline is secured by design, featuring HIPAA-aligned deployment and rigorous audit trails. BoomTalk Live truly folds every single element of the visit, from that very first appointment reminder all the way to the final filed note, into one continuous, incredibly secure timeline.
Now,
we really need to talk about the secret sauce that makes all of this work so seamlessly behind the scenes. We call this the Boom Logic Advantage. BoomTalk Live isn't just some piece of software you download and are left to figure out completely on your own. No way. It is a fully managed environment. BoomLogic's very own engineers handle all the planning, the setup, and the training for your staff. On top of that, the entire platform is actively monitored by a 24/7 security operations center, and you get dedicated help desk support. What this means for a busy medical practice is that you and your staff never, ever have to play IT support again. You just focus on your patients, and BoomLogic runs the platform.
Now, while we've definitely focused heavily on the healthcare and telemedicine applications so far, it's super important to note that this powerful, secure infrastructure is highly versatile. Think about it. Because HR, finance, and legal require the exact same strict confidentiality as a doctor's office, this enterprise-grade architecture can be perfectly configured for almost any professional team that meets clients face-to-face. So whether that's guided assessments for behavioral and mental health, highly secure interviews for recruitment, confidential consultations for law, or even interactive sessions for education and customer support, the platform just naturally adapts to the specific workflow needs of that industry. Just imagine this interface seamlessly adapted for an educational setting. You'd have multi-party text chat running right alongside a live whiteboard feed for an instructor, or you can see how it easily flips into an online marketplace, facilitating direct, highly secure messaging and support for customers who are inquiring about products. It really brilliantly showcases how the underlying flexibility of BoomTalk Live can be leveraged to bring that true enterprise-grade reliability in communication to a whole array of business models, all without losing even an ounce of security or core functionality.
So all of this really boils down to one simple, absolutely crucial rule for your business. Don't just upgrade your video, upgrade your entire practice. It's time to stop settling for basic tools that ultimately just waste your valuable time. Because if you're just paying for a slightly better video connection, you're entirely missing out on the massive operational efficiencies that AI and managed workflows can bring to your daily life. Honestly, it is time to expect a whole lot more from the technology that powers your business. So what's the next step if you're finally ready to stop chasing paperwork and start focusing entirely on your clients or patients? Well, you need to get a tailored look at exactly how this can work for you. You can get a free consultation right now to discover how this fully managed IT and telehealth platform can streamline your practice. Just pick up the phone and call 833-BOOM-338. Again, that's 833-266-6338. Or you can just visit them directly online at boomtalk.live. You can also head over to boomlogic.com and just navigate right to the BoomTalk Live product page. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I'm going to leave you with this one thought.